This is a sponsored video. Disclaimer, disclaimer. I told them straight up that the trust of my audience is way more important to me than any sort of money that they could give me to do a review video. And they said, that's fine. We want you to do an honest review. We believe in our product. And I was like, 135 euro? And they were like, yes, try it, do an honest review. So this got delivered to me this morning. Let's check it out. Is it possible that a wheel that only costs 135 euros can possibly be like a legitimate purchase? Like, could it be a good beginner's wheel? For context, the wheel that I have already, that's the Shimpo RK55, that cost me about 850 euros when I bought it. This was many, many years ago. I'm pretty sure it's more expensive now. Both of these wheels, this new vevor wheel and the Shimpo wheel, were both manufactured in the same country. So I'm assuming that this wheel is a little less heavy duty than my Shimpo. But could it be a good starter wheel? I'm always trying to find ways that I can make ceramics more accessible to you guys. And I know for many, many people in the world, 850 euros is like way too much to spend on a starter wheel. So let's test it out. I'm really curious to see where its limit is. Okay, obviously the first thing we notice is the size. It is extremely short. From my understanding, this is very common for wheels of this price group, so I really wasn't surprised at all. This splash guard is actually pretty much the same quality as the one on my Shimpo. Both of these splash guards are not highest quality plastic, but if it's good enough for a Shimpo, it's good enough for this guy. Yeah, it's metal. I don't know what I was expecting, but it's definitely like feels solid. Like it's definitely lighter than my Shimpo, but that's probably just due to the material. So I'm gonna put it next to my Shimpo so you can see the size difference. And then if I'm going to throw on this, I'm definitely going to need to elevate it somehow. I don't really know why they make them this size. I'm guessing it's for children or maybe just to reduce material cost. People don't know better, but this is way too small to throw on. Maybe for a standing wheel, it would work, but for what I do, sitting, we're gonna need to elevate it. The pedal is plastic. It's plastic, plastic, plastic all the way through. We'll see how it performs, but it's obviously not gonna be as good as a metal wheel, but as long as it works, who cares, right? So here you can see the difference in size. It's definitely a baby wheel. Okay, I put it up on some clay blocks and a couple of boards to try and get it a little bit higher, closer to the height that I'm used to throwing at. So I'm hoping this is stable enough. We'll see. This looks like a touch screen. We can go, here's on, I guess. You can adjust it either by hand, so with these buttons here, or with the pedal, which is obviously what I'm going to do, and you can change the direction of the wheel. So that's pretty cool for left-handers. I don't know what this is. What is this? Oh, right. Oh, that's kind of cool. It shows you like how fast it's going, I guess. That's cool. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do pedal adjustment. Okay, we're gonna test it out. I've got a few different weights of clay here. We've got 500 grams, we've got 1 kilo, and we've got 2 kilo. I will be very impressed if it can handle the 2 kilo, I have to say. So we'll see how much this motor can handle. I did have a look at the manual just now, and it said it can handle up to 5 kilo, which is actually almost unbelievably impressive. But let's see how much this is gonna handle. There is nowhere to put this big of a pot, which is a little unfortunate. I'll just have to put it on the ground. So I don't know if the mic is picking it up. There is like a pulsing that you can hear as the wheel is turning, but I'll note that you don't feel any movement on the wheel head, so you can just ignore it, ignore the pulsing. Okay, I don't know what this shape is, but the wheel handled it brilliantly. It's fine. Perfect. Okay, 1 kilo, no problem. If it can handle this, I will be very impressed. I don't expect it to, because this is not really a beginner-sized chunk of clay. If it can handle this, I'm gonna say it's a go. Well, as you can see, it handled 2 kilos like a pro. I did notice this thing is very touchy. It's very sensitive. So maybe something to keep in mind. Turn it off now. I think final verdict, this is a perfectly fine wheel. Let me start with the cons first. It's small. That's the main con. That's truly like the only real con. But if you can figure out some sort of platform to stick it on, I think it's fine. Also, if you're a tabletop thrower, this might be really great for you. In that case, maybe the short legs are actually a pro. The only other con that I think is actually going to, do anything is that the pedal does feel quite cheap. So the pedal is plastic through and through. I don't know about the longevity of it, but compared to my heavy-duty metal Shimpo pedal, it's definitely not as good, but it's definitely something that you can get used to. So I think like the truly only con is the height. Yeah, I mean, like I was thinking as I was throwing this, like at a certain point you are pushing so much pressure in one direction that you can kind of feel the whole wheel shift. Like it's not heavy enough, but I have to say my Shimpo does the exact same thing. So I'm not gonna count that as a con because if a professional wheel does that too, it's just fine on this one. Like it's heavy enough to withstand the force. So I think what I would recommend to counter all of this is to maybe build some sort of structure. I would also build out like a table out here so that there's somewhere to hold a water bucket, or you're gonna have to get a smaller water bucket than what I'm used to throwing with. That's truly all the cons. The pros is definitely the price point. I mean, like if I was starting out, I would definitely buy this wheel. I cannot speak to the longevity. I mean, Shimpo and Brent and all these other big wheel brands, they have a whole reputation behind them, so you can kind of trust that they are going to be a high quality wheel. This might be a little bit of a gamble, but for the price, it might be worth it. It might be worth it. Like, I never told y'all the story of the way I got my hands on my first wheel. I had to borrow a wheel for the first couple of years because I couldn't afford a wheel, and I was lucky enough to find a situation where I could borrow it, but then she got it back and she said that I broke it, and then I was like, no, it came like that, and it was just a very old wheel, and it's a story for another time. But there is something to be said about being able to buy your own wheel. I'm actually truly thinking I'm a convert. Like in the very beginning, a lot of people sent me wheels, especially wheels from random, like no-name brands on Amazon specifically. People would send me these wheels and say, have you ever heard of this? Is this like worth it? Blah, blah, blah. And I was always like, no, don't do it. Don't do it because it's probably crap. They're all short. They're all undersized. And a lot of people are surprised by that. Like I expected it, so it's not a big deal. But if you are a fan of not buying from Amazon, because I would encourage y'all to try and avoid that for pottery supplies as much as possible. There are plenty of alternatives. You don't need to pay into a absurdly unjust monopoly. This is an alternative, at least to Amazon. That's all I can say about it. So if you guys are interested in this wheel, I will have it linked down below so you can check it out yourself. I think what I'm going to do, because I don't really need this wheel, I have actually 2 Shimpo wheels, one that I just pull out when I'm teaching. I don't need a 3rd wheel. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to give it to one of you guys. Let's do a little giveaway. To enter the giveaway, tell me what you wanna make with this wheel, like if you wanna make mugs or bowls or whatever, like just let me know what you are excited about making. That's not gonna impact who gets chosen. I am going to choose at random. I'll just use like a random number generator and I'll ship you this wheel. The good thing is I saved all the packaging. It's gonna be a little dirty. It's gonna be used once, but just by me. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks to vevor for gifting this wheel to our community. Next video is going to be a very, very exciting one. I'm in the process of making it right now and it's a little bit nerve-wracking, let's say, to be honest. It's probably the most ambitious thing that I've ever made before. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's gonna work yet. So if there's no video next week, you know that it was a disaster. But hopefully, I'll see you then. Bye, friends.